I moved into my new apartment about a year ago. Nothing fancy, just a one-bedroom in a quiet brick building on the edge of the city. Rent was cheap, and the neighborhood was quiet, mostly older tenants, which I thought was a good sign. I was between jobs at the time and needed something I could afford until things got stable. The place had a bit of that old building feel, creaky floors, thin walls, odd plumbing noises, but I was okay with that. What I wasn't okay with was my neighbor in 3C. I live in 3B. Our doors are maybe 6 feet apart, facing the same narrow hallway. I didn't think much of it until I realized I had never actually seen the guy. Not once. Not in the hallway, not coming in with groceries, not at the mailbox. Nothing. But I knew he was there. The signs were small, at first. I'd hear his door unlock and relock at strange times. 2:47 a.m., 4:10 a.m., never regular. Once I even heard the lock click, followed by nothing at all. No footsteps, no opening, no closing. Just a click, then silence. I told myself maybe he worked night shifts. Then, the smell started. Every few nights, this weird metallic smell would leak from under his door, like blood and rust and something burnt. I once crouched near the floor to sniff it. I know it sounds gross, but it was faint. Still, I could swear it made my throat tighten for hours after. I considered knocking once, just to be neighborly, ask if everything was okay. But something in me froze every time I stood near his door. It wasn't fear. Not quite. It was more like the air itself told me, don't. So I didn't. Then one night, everything changed. It was around 3:30 a.m. I'd woken up thirsty and went to the kitchen for water. My apartment faces the hallway, and there's a small peephole in my door. I don't know what compelled me to look, maybe just habit, but I leaned in and checked it. Someone was standing in the hallway. At first, I thought it might be a drunk neighbor, lost or locked out. But no, this man, tall and too thin, was facing my door. Not moving, not blinking, just staring. I held my breath. Maybe he'd knock. He didn't. He just stood there. For 20 minutes. I watched, not daring to breathe too loud. I couldn't make out much detail. The peephole blurred him slightly, but I could tell he was wearing something old, a faded coat, too big for his frame. His head was slightly tilted. His mouth hung open, as if in mid-sentence, but no sound came out. Eventually he turned and walked, stiffly, back into 3C. He didn't unlock the door. It was already open.